All right, guys, so here we are back with the van. We're about to put some new shoes on this thing. And by shoes, I just mean rims. They have tires on them, but they're not great. They are staggered. Those are going to be for the rear. And blam! Just like that. Look how much better that looks. I'm going to have to lower the front, which I was planning on doing already, but there's just too much of a gap right there for my taste. Not horrible, but anyways, yeah. Heck yeah, dude. Look at them. Look at them. Those are just a 265. Look how fat. Look how good it looks on the van. You know what I'm saying? Woo! Freak yeah, baby. Comes right out to the edge of the fender. Just a hair past, which is exactly how I like it. Same up front. Just a wee bit past the fender. So throwing rocks and stuff is a concern, but yeah, that's the way we like it right there. Oh yeah, baby! Look at that thing. Clean it up, put your wheels on, you know, get the motor fired up, which we've already done, so all that's motivating. All right. Next is the alternator, but I'm gonna grab a vacuum first and get all that nastiness cleaned up. Probably vacuum down there and all that good stuff. So, all right, first off, it's December 26th. All right, for those of you that don't know, that's the day after Christmas. And it is like 70 degrees out here, which this time last year was definitely cold last year, but not this year. But what's funny, next week, back in the 30s. Welcome to Arkansas. Okay, so got all this cleaned up. And that looks so much better. I mean, not really, but bam! Looking all beautiful. Woo! All right. Now that I got those two things done, I need to take this off. I probably need to spray those. I highly doubt those will just come off. All right, let's see. Squirt, squirt. Squirt it on the line here, because if you don't know, this nut that screws into the master cylinder here rotates around that line. And what'll happen is you might break the nut loose from the master cylinder, but it isn't necessarily broke loose from the tube. And what'll happen is this tube will just twist and then snap. And then you gotta get a whole new line. So I'm gonna let that soak. I'm gonna tap around, maybe hopefully break some of that up. Probably apply a little heat. We'll see. Something else that may help after you've let it soak for a while is, and this is a 9/16, so, but what I would do is sit there and I'll just do like what I call like shocking it. So I'll hit it with like a hammer, just a little bit. I'm not trying to, again, break it. I'm just trying to kind of shock it and vibrate it and all that, and just kind of work that loose. Of course, this little guy's got to be right in the way. I don't even know what that is. It was way back there somewhere. I don't know. Anyways, okay. We can see a little bit better now. So I'm just going to kind of tap it loose a little bit. Kind of go back. Just, again, not trying to break it loose completely. I'm just kind of trying to shock it. Put some vibrations in there. See how it goes up? Means it's not broke loose yet. Just gotta be patient, folks. It will break loose. All right, so we got that one off. And even after getting it off, I had to use my wrench to twist it. So I just kind of worked it and really soaked it here, because when you go to put this back, if you guys have ever put one back, you know that it is a pain to get those lined up just right. And if you can barely turn this, you probably won't ever get it. So lube that up a little bit, not lubed it, but sprayed it, and that's the PB blaster in there on both sides. So now it spins freely. So that shouldn't be an issue. Gonna work on this one, hopefully that one. The scary part is this is a lot thinner line than this one. So this one would be more prone to twist. So it's been sitting a little bit longer. I haven't even attempted to get it off yet. So let's see what happens. right, so we're gonna spray that a little bit more, let it soak. We'll put some heat on it. Try it with the actual wrench that's supposed to be on there. See if that, I definitely expanded it. Holy crap. Let's see. Oh, come on. And you can kind of, yeah, line's warm, but it's not too hot. You can kind of hold the line in place, but you still got to watch, you know, right here, because that will still twist. I say we just kind of work it back and forth like that. That's what we want right there. I'm still gonna be careful because it's still kind of catching a little bit. So you don't really want to get overzealous here. And that gets loose and, you know, still bend your line, so. All right, so a little bit of heat, a little bit of patience, a little bit of PB Blaster. I kind of ruined this nut with the vice grip, but it's okay. It's okay, man. Okay, well, let me use two hands here. Okay, all right. Now, see how I can't twist that with my fingers? I mean, it twists like a quarter turn. So I'm gonna go and get more PB Blaster. I'm gonna spray it back here, spray it up front here, just kind of work it back and forth and twist it that way. When I go to put these back in the new one, they'll just go in and won't give me a fit. Okay, so ended up having to cut one of the bolts here because these things, they just spin. So they were rusty, they didn't want to come off on their own. So I just kept spinning when I was trying to get the nut off. That one, fortunately, I was able to save, but this one I wasn't. All right, distribution block or proportioning valve. I'm not sure what the difference is, but either way, it's in. Came in today, so the snow set it back about a week. And but anyways, finally arrived, got everything installed, got everything nice and tight. So now, I'm gonna put some fluid up in here. I'm just gonna let it kind of drain a little bit on its own. Whatever, I probably need to bench bleed this. I'll be honest with you guys, this is just my personal experience, so don't take advice from me. I know bench bleeding is important, but I've bench bled some and I haven't, and I've never noticed a difference. I assume maybe if you're just replacing this, just the master cylinder, and you still have fluid in all these lines, everything's full, your either your calipers or your wheel cylinders, whatever you may have, if those are full, you know, that might make a difference to bench bleed this. That'd make sense. But seeing how everything is empty, I don't really, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna have bubbles no matter what. So they'll come out all together. So anyway, I'm not gonna worry about bench bleeding this. I'm just gonna do it and we'll see what happens. All right, so we got this side done. Rotor, caliper, brake pads, and a new line. So we're all done here. Just gotta put my little desk cover on, and then we're gonna move over to the other side. And it's just, anyway. So, well, I mean, I'm over here shooting a video. Maybe let me finish. No big deal. All right, so yeah, this is this side. So we're just gonna do the same thing, get it all nice and new and shiny. And apparently Mel's gonna be painting these dust covers. I mean, you won't see them because we have the center caps for the wheels.
Okay.
But I mean, you can paint it. She loves to paint, don't you, Mel? She's still wearing her pajamas and doesn't have any makeup on. All right, coming around. Oh, so got these on. That has a slow leak. Oh, what's that? A little helper. Whoop. That's Ollie. He's a turd. Anyway, so as you saw, we got the front disc on, and got the rubber lines on, and got the rotors on, or the calipers on. So the fronts are done as far as being installed. So now we're gonna walk back here, and we're gonna do the rear rear drums. Have those sitting here. Got all this that you're looking at for $75, minus the rubber line there. We bought that separate. But as far as the drum setup, I got that from a guy who decided to go rear disc brakes. They're newish, so gonna pull these wheels off and pull what's left of the old system off and mount these. Okay, so in order to release these axles on this thing, you gotta take off the rear diff, and of course it's gonna drain the fluid and whatnot, and then there's a couple clips or pins or whatever there you gotta remove. So that's what I'm working on now. Get that out, and then we can get all this stuff replaced. Back here, so far no fluid has come out. I've taken out the bottom half of these bolts all the way around, so actually more than the bottom half. So let's just keep going, and I'm probably gonna have to pry that pumpkin loose, or the diff cover, or whatever you want to call it. Get this axle out, and I gotta remove this axle to get this off to put the new one on. So what we're gonna need to get, like, which I probably have some gasket maker stuff, but we're gonna have to get rear diff. Oh, there it is. Well, there's definitely some in there, so that's what's up. So I've got to get, I think it's this nut off here, so I can release this pin. And I think that's it. You see the pin in the middle, the big thick pin. Of course, those are the axle ends touching the pin. So in order to push the axles inward towards the diff, the pin has to drop. So this little bolt right here, it's got to come out. That's what's holding the pin in place. Once the pin's out of the way, axle goes inward, the C-clamp comes out, and then the axle can come out. You just do same thing on each side, and voila. All right, so this is the pin. It is a 5/16. Got it out. I have not got the big pin out. I'm hoping I can just maybe rotate this. I'm worried though that I might, let me get that kind of out of the way where it's not, where it's still dripping in the pan. But let me see if I can rotate this downward to where that pin might just fall out. Let's see what happens. Spin, spin. Is it just gonna fall out? It's gonna make a mess if it does. All right. That's one thing they don't tell me is how to actually get that out of there. Oh, I wonder. Let me move this just a little bit more. If I can just maybe move this axle in and out a little bit. Oh, there we go. Yep. So I had just enough play with that pin in there to move that out. To move the axle enough to just kind of like bump it to where it was loose. Turn this back this way to get it out. Okay. Zoot. There that is. So pretty simple. That's how you know it's the bottom. I don't know that it matters on this. But do make sure you put it in. I mean, you won't be able to get your other pin in there because there's no hole at the top. So anyways, whatever. I'm gonna set this in the thing there just not to get it too dirty. Then let me push the axle in and see if that, okay, see, so that goes in. And I don't know if I need to turn that to, if that pin will just fall out. Oh, I heard something. Did it fall? I think I'm gonna have to look for it. But I did hear a fall. Hold on. Woo! All right, got everything in. So like I said earlier, these were $75 for everything, not the axle, but everything behind the axle, all this stuff for both sides. And he said he had about 20,000 miles on him. So anyways, finally got all that done. Just getting everything put back together in the rear diff. So that's all locked in and whatnot. And working. Put a new rubber hose in back here. Right, there you go. You can see the block for it anyway. Everything's good, everything's on. Oh, and I'm sorry, I did forget to show you the cover. What's up? That's right, Mel did that today. Pretty cool. Figured we had it off, clean it up, paint it, put something on there. Okay guys, we're gonna put the cover back on the diff. I gotta clean up around it a little bit before we put our ultra black in it. Well, it just says black, but if you roll this down, it says ultra. I'm not gonna roll it down though, because it's a pain in the butt and it's cold. Well, there she is. Oh, what's up? Looking all pretty and whatnot. Yeah, baby. Problem is, you'll probably never really see it because this is where the tank goes. So, you know, it sits pretty much right here. So you'll probably be able to see the bottom half of it. But, you know, it's just one of those little details. It's kind of cute. You know? Whatever. No big deal. But we know it's there. All right, I'm gonna give this a little bit to dry. Hopefully we got enough under there. I mean, it's squishing out there and all around up top, but I was too busy talking to you guys. I'm not blaming, I'm just saying I was talking to you guys and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I was going around the outside of these nuts when I was putting the RTV in. So the problem is, when I was doing it, I was going under here and under here. And what you should have done, what I should have done, and what you should do is go over the top, right? And it'd be okay to go all the way around if you wanted, but definitely need to hit the top. I know better, and I wasn't doing that. I realized that after I was editing part of that video, I was like, oh, it's like, well, maybe it won't leak, right? We'll just pretend like maybe it ain't gonna leak. Well, I came out here today to get this in, and it was just like kind of glossy, a little bit up here, just the tiniest little drip right here. So what happens, in case you guys are wondering why it matters, is when this is full of fluid, if you don't have your like gasket maker or your gasket, whatever, but you don't have something up on top, that fluid gets in right here, okay, on the top part of these threads, and it'll just slowly work its way through the slit, over the threads and out right here. I think it's just gonna pour out, but it is gonna leak out. So what I did is I just did these, 5 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I just did these 5 bolts right here. I didn't go higher because, I mean, the fluid only sits to about right here anyway. And yes, when it's driving, it's going to be spinning it, but I don't know. We'll see if it matters later. But anyway, I just took each one of these out one at a time and put RTV on the lip here and then tightened them, and it all squished out. And as of right now, it's not leaking. As you can see, perfectly dry, no leaks here. Not doing what it was doing before. Is it going to last? I don't know. I hope so, because I really don't want to have to take all that out, scrape it all again, redo it all again. But anyways, so just a little advice. Always go to the inside of whatever it is you're doing. Got some goodies. This is a brake line. So what I'm going to be doing with this is, well, let me show you first. See these lines right here? This one here and that one down there. That's a trans cooler line. Or lines, as it were. Anyways, whenever they took the old radiator out, they just snipped those lines, I guess, and pulled the radiator out. Well, now I've got to reconnect it. So instead of buying all new trans lines and running those, I'm just bought one of these. I'm going to cut it to fit it, and then we use a little bit of rubber hose to make the connection. Problem is, this is pretty much a heck of a lot thicker than these other lines. So I'm going to have to get creative with my hose. I bought some, what's it called? Pressure clamps, like fuel injection hose clamps. And I'll probably just double up. Not that there's a lot of pressure coming from the trans lines through here, but because of the size difference of the, the size difference of the piping, I'm gonna have to do something a little different. So anyway, here is the new, I'll just pull it out for you. What's up? Payow. Yeah, that's right. So, gonna get this in there, and hopefully we can get a cooling system going on. I have no idea what those O-rings are for. You got your hose here, return, petcock. Do you guys say petcock or petcock? I've heard both. I've always said petcock, but sometimes I don't hear so well. And it might be pitcock. I guess if I look the word up somewhere, I could figure it out real quick. Okay, get those in there. And then, okay, let's just, well, I better tighten those up. Hold on, I'll be right back. Ugh. This thing is light. And pretty dang thin. Just another one. Did not come with a lid or a cap, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, didn't come with a freaking cap. But my problem is I only have one of these, so I'm gonna have to make something else for the other side. But at least that does keep that away. Woo, look at what I found. All right, let's see. Sure. Are these always like one size fits all? I don't want to go that fancy stuff. I don't know. This one looks good. Oh, nice and snug. We'll just go with that one. What's up? All right, we got her in finally. I say finally, didn't have to do too much to get it in there. I don't have the hoses yet. I guess I'm just gonna have to get new ones. We'll see. But anyway, show you what it did. I have no idea if that's gonna leak or not. I clamped these down pretty tight. Confident it's not gonna leak here. This hose is thicker like I was explaining, but this line's thinner, same as this one down here. So, I don't know, only time will tell. What else? I feel like I did something else. I know we already talked about this sweet cap. Oh, got that in. I mean, it's not too bad, look at this. I mean, you know, it's just a little, but maybe once I get that hose on here And maybe it might help, you know, keep it a little bit, but I'm not too worried about it right now. It's in there okay-ish for where we're at now with the van. So that's pretty much it. I've got to get to the back and tighten up. I think I need to the shoes and the drums. The drum slides on super easy, and whenever we're bleeding them, you hit the brake, it catches, but I can still kind of turn it a little bit just easily with my hands. So I'm probably gonna adjust those out. All right, well, the brakes are all bled. Everything's doing well. I adjusted the rear brake right there, and then come up here, and these got tons of pressure to them to the front. So aired these bad boys up, just like 20 pounds in it, but anyway, no big deal. Just finally getting her done. I think tomorrow I'm gonna go fill up that jug with some fuel, put it in the tank, get a battery, and start cranking her over, start kind of looking more at the mechanical side of things and just seeing what's what. I mean, everything's kind of so brittle. You see this here? I mean, that's, looks like it's just kind of falling apart. This, you know, well, I think that was just the water reservoir for the windshield wipers, but, oh yeah, speaking of that, yeah, look how much better that looks. Got it all cleaned up. That's right. Put it over here, probably paint it. I don't know what color yet. It doesn't really matter, but figure while it's out, we can get that painted at least. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So moving right along. Tomorrow I'll try and see if we can get it started and keep it running, and I won't be able to do it too long. I still need to get a dipstick for it. There are no dipsticks for this inline six for a van. None. I mean, I can get them all day long that are just short that you can mark yourself and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, it's way back there, so I'll either have to reach way in here to check it, or I'll have to take the cover off every time I need to check the oil. Let's tint these windows. I have this tint sitting here. They're both 20%, but one's Black Magic and one's Gila, something, Gila, I don't know. But anyway, I'll do that. Not that it matters really, you know, but make it look a little cooler up in here as if that were possible, right? This van's awesome. All right, got them both done. What's up? I'll bring you around that side. You can't really tell. Not too bad for a crusty van, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. What's up? Voila! She is finished as far as the brakes go. Of course, got the tint done. Everything is brand new, guys, from the master cylinder all the way to the rear. Except for some of the original metal lines, they were still good, no need to replace those, but all the rubber brake lines have been replaced. Rotors, calipers, brake pads, and then of course the rear drums we got, which aren't new, but they're pretty new and still look pretty good. So everything might not be quite adjusted the way it needs to be on the rear. It's just one of those things where I'm going to have to drive it and see, but I feel like it's pretty decent. So just a little heads up, I've already got this running off of the tank. That's been installed. I'll show you guys that in the next episode. It is running off its own system, so I'm not having to put, you know, fuel in the carburetor anymore. A little bit of clinking going on. I think it's some valves, but of course I need to change the oil. I got it to move forward about 2 feet. I didn't want to drive it too much. I just wanted to see what the transmission was going to be doing. Pretty low on transmission fluid. It's leaking anyway, so I'm going to redo the pan with the gasket, put a filter in there, put fresh trans fluid, and then we'll be able to see. But you guys will see all that in the next episode, or whatever. I don't think you're supposed to call these episodes for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, I don't know what else to call it. It's coming along. It will be driving around the house before too long. Probably see that in the next one, I'm sure. Hopefully. Like I said, I've only moved this forward like 2 feet. It does start up pretty good for it, you know, just been sitting there. It doesn't take too much throttle and adjusting and all that. Hope you enjoyed this one. I know it wasn't really exciting. We're talking about brakes here and a little bit of window tint, but hey, better than nothing, right? Right? Did you guys laugh at all? Did you watch it all the way through? If you did, then that's a win. But, all right. See you guys on the next one. And hopefully it's going to be a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more action. We'll see. Oh, yeah, baby. Look at that thing.